All right, so a few months ago, I was trying to hang a clock up on the wall in my house. And since I didn't have a hammer, I ended up trying to use the handle end of a screwdriver to drive the nail into the wall. I think you know where this is going. Kia ora, everyone. I'm Nathan Rose. I'm a lead consultant and Microsoft MVP based here in beautiful Auckland, New Zealand, who, if you haven't guessed, is a bit better at Power Platform stuff than DIY. So earlier this week, John Russell of Sprint Zero podcast fame asked a fantastic question about why anyone would want to use low code plugins. And I wanted to expand on my answer a bit by sharing a specific example. And since John loves all things uncomfortable in his podcast, here is the extended edition of Nathan's Uncomfortable Corner. All right. So a number of years ago, I worked for a manufacturer who used dynamic service as part of their warranty process. So when customers had an issue with a product, a case would get created in Dynamics. And then if they required a replacement, that case would be sent on to the company's ERP for fulfillment. And the user simply did that by clicking a button in the case ribbon, and they'd get a message popping up saying the case has successfully been sent to the ERP. Sounds good, right? Until weeks or months later, we'd hear from angry customers saying, "Where's my replacement? What's going on with you guys?" Well, when we looked into it, it turned out that there were a number of cases that were stuck in this never never land between dynamic service and the ERP because we were effectively using the wrong tool for the job. We were using an asynchronous process, which allowed the user to click submit and get on with their day. Unfortunately, when we analyzed this, the process was really synchronous in nature on paper because when the user created the case and submitted it, they couldn't make any changes to it, which often happened and often broke this integration. We had an old ERP system that couldn't handle those kinds of things. So the assumption was once you submitted it, that was it. If you needed to make a change, you had to create a new case and start again from scratch. Unfortunately, the users didn't know that, and the asynchronous process allowed them to do things that they shouldn't have been able to do simply because we were using the wrong tool for the job. All right, so how might a synchronous process or a low code plugin have fixed this? Well, when you trigger a synchronous process in Dataverse, so a low code plugin or a traditional pro code plugin, that record gets locked down, right? You can't pass go, you can't collect $200 until the process has finished running. This means the user can't do things like make changes or any updates to it that could break the process or the integration that it's calling. It also means that the user is stuck on that screen until the process completes. Now, this is important because we need to pass a message back to the user saying specifically when it hasn't worked. When it's worked, that's fine, right? They'll get on with their day. But if the integration has failed and that case hasn't made it to the ERP, we need the user to know that immediately so that they can make required changes and try again. And so this is a specific instance, an example of how asynchronous and synchronous processing works and why sometimes synchronous processing via a low code plugin is the right tool for the job, like trying to use a hammer instead of a screwdriver to drive a nail into the wall. So that ends the extended edition of Nathan's Uncomfortable Corner. I hope this was helpful. I hope it further illustrates why low code plugins are a big deal and when sometimes you'll need to use them. Go do something awesome on the Power Platform today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.